All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin because its price is doing something pretty damn interesting. So, of course, we've been tracking the fact that over the last few days, Bitcoin was attempting to make a move outside of this ascending wedge. But what I told you all was that this is the less likely of options here, and that even if we did get a breakout to the upside, you needed to be careful because holding some support out here and then continuing upwards would be rather difficult while we are approaching the $47,000 to $50,000 zone. And what you can see here is that as its price has now fallen, it is now fallen back within this ascending channel, putting it in a position in which it very easily can continue back towards the downside. Now, at the same time that we are seeing Bitcoin's price reverse back towards the bottom side of this channel, we did see an increase of volume on this fake out. Okay, what you have to understand is that when you get an increase of volume on a breakout right here, that's conviction. That shows that there is more conviction in this breakout. So if it fails, it really fails. Like it was extra bullish basically, and now it failed, so it's extra more of a fail. I don't know how to explain that, but I think you get what I mean there. And so at the same time that we're seeing this increase of volume on a fake out, we are also seeing our daily RSI finally starting to roll. It does look like we were unable to recapture some of these levels. We were putting in many micro higher highs, many micro lower lows, but we are now starting to see that reversal to the downside, seemingly going to lose this trend rather soon here, which is just something to go to show like, yeah, maybe we're going to start to see this thing head back down towards 50 or below. On top of that, we're also seeing this MACD seemingly losing momentum. You can see here that it tried to regain it, right? It tried to regain it on this push to the upside, but realistically, it's not holding, it's not doing well, and we're starting to see this reverse towards the downside, seemingly as if we're going to get some type of interaction, maybe even a micro death cross. Now, another thing that I want you to pay attention to is the fact that it has now fallen within its Bollinger Bands again. You see, it got overextended. It went outside those Bollinger Bands, and when it does that, it has a strong tendency to reverse back to this 20 simple moving average. We saw it back here. We saw it right here. We saw it right here. All of these times where we get overextended outside the Bollinger Bands, we will get that pullback to the 20 SMA. We will get that pullback to the 20 SMA, 20 SMA, in my opinion, 20 SMA. What does that look like for Bitcoin? That does look like a $44,000 Bitcoin. It does look like Bitcoin revisiting the bottom side of this ascending channel and maybe even losing it to the downside, right? We had all this excitement, all this craziness, all this hype with the Bitcoin ETF approval. Maybe it's time. Maybe that was a little mini blow off top, and it's time for Bitcoin to cool down for a little while before we start garnering attention for the halving. Maybe that is the case, and that is totally okay. And so, in my opinion, at this given point, it does seem as if it's about time for Bitcoin to pull back. I am going to continue to dollar cost average. I mean, you all know Bitcoin's 50% of my portfolio, as you can see. You can see all of my portfolios and what I hold and what I buy and when I sell things and all that good stuff down in my Patreon link down below. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging because I think Bitcoin can hit $130,000 one day. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy right here, especially leverage longs or anything of that nature, because you all know this $47,000 to $50,000 level is one of the strongest resistance levels Bitcoin has ever seen. Now, in terms of a short trade, not a bad idea. I think that a little small one wouldn't be terrible. You guys know I do all of my trading on Margex. They're the best trading platform in the world, in my opinion. You don't need to KYC. You don't need a VPN. You can just deposit funds and start trading. You can use leverage, you can withdraw, you can do what you need to do, and they have really good deposit bonuses of a couple $100. So use the link down below. Stop wasting your time on other exchanges. They are by far the best in my opinion and the easiest to use. But again, I think a short trade here wouldn't be a terrible idea. Obviously, do be careful because of, you can see this. There is decent amounts of liquidity here, right? We've seen resistance, resistance, resistance. So that's obviously going to now try to be support, support, support. So we could see Bitcoin really bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and you never know if that's going to be enough to make it finally go to the upside. Okay, so be careful with short trades during the bull market in general because bullish sentiment does tend to take over at any given point. But again, it's not a terrible trade there. It's just one that you need to be careful of, and I would definitely set a stop loss right around $47,200 because if we break that level, probably looking to make a push towards 50K. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that sentiment is turning a little bit more bearish in the short term. We do have all these indicators flashing that we could get this pullback to the downside. Obviously not guaranteed, but when you start to see these things happening and early progression, it might just be a good idea to get prepared and expect that a Bitcoin towards, roughly $44,000 is within the realm of possibilities and rather likely at this given point. So I'll continue to update you as this does play out. I got 2 to 4 technical analysis videos coming out every single day with a mix of degen plays in there. So of course, if you do enjoy those, make sure you do press subscribe. Check out Margex down in the link below. And of course, I will see you all next time. Peace out, everyone.